Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining. I'm very excited to talk to you about pathways, but the first thing I want to share with you is our pathways page on our district website. So if you have not been here before, you just go to tmd55.org/pathways. Karen, if you will, please send them that URL. When you go to the page, you'll see some information we have on what each of the paths are and how many levels there are in each path. These are both clickable, so if you click on them, it'll pop up in a larger screen. You can actually save that image as well if it's something that you would like to have a copy of. Same with the levels. And so it's just basic information to help when conveying what Pathways is to your club members or to yourself if you get confused on how many levels there are and what you need to do. We've organized this page according to where you are in the process of signing up for Pathways. We have the Navigator, which is an online tool that tells you exactly what you need to know. Everything about what Toastmasters is, what the different roles and different officer positions are, and how to use the online tool in a very broad sense. There's two versions of this. One is a PDF, and one is an online point and click system. So just depending on which way you learn, there's two different methods. Then when you go into picking your path, we have a Pathways reference guide and a catalog. The reference guide has been updated to include the 11th path, which just came out in February, which is called Engaging Humor. I've actually popped that up for you somewhere right here. Okay, so this is the reference guide. I've been scrolling through a little bit just to show what information is in here. So it has how to complete a DTM, and it has a project matrix. It looks rather confusing, so depending on how you process information, this may be a challenge. But what this basically says is what is required and an elective between all 11 paths. So if you wanted to choose between one or another, you can go this way and look at the list and see what says red and what is available. So you see, for instance, every single project for every single path will have the Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring Project. And then all of the projects, all the paths share the same level 1. So that's one thing that's really helpful in this chart. I actually prefer to look at it as a section, and that's where the catalog comes into play. This is the catalog. It has a short description of the first 10 paths. It does not include the 11th because it came out later, but we are hoping for a revised version of this, so stay tuned. But you will see that it has each path on its own page. So here I'm looking at dynamic leadership, and everything in black is a required, and everything in this maroon color is an elective. And you can see here for level 3, it tells me that I choose 2 out of these electives and the 1 required. Level 4, I actually only have 1 required and 1 elective. So that level only has 2 projects, while most of the others have 3. And you can see it compares all of the different ones. So when I went through this personally, I looked at 2 paths, dynamic leadership and leadership development. They are very similar. And I didn't trust the assessment to just automatically know what I should do. I'm a data person. I want to compare the results myself. So I took 1 page of one page of the other, and I went back and forth. Do I like this required class or this required class? Check. Do I like this one or this one? Check. And I compared and added up the checks. And then I took the assessment online, and it did verify that the one that I selected was the one that the tool thought I should do. So it was nice to have that validation. Any questions on those 2 documents?
No.
No? Oh, I gotta see, look, your video's still on. I can see you shaking your head. Wonderful. So again, this is just in the tmd55.org/pathways page in the Picking Your Path section. There is another document. This one is key for new members, and it is called Welcome to Toastmasters. It is a letter format where we made it so that you can give it to your club members, whether you're the VPE, whether you're the VPM, or the president. We actually have a space here where you can sign it and hand it on to them. But it is page 1 through 11 that is most important, because this is where it shows you step by step using images on how to log in for the first time, how to find where to go to Basecamp, take that assessment. What does that mean? Which path do you pick? And so I'll scroll through briefly just to give you an idea. But we even say which one, whether you want to do printed or online. We have selecting which one that you actually want to do based on the results of the assessment, logging in for the first time, what that looks like, and even how to launch your first project. This is a great document. I will be showing you some of these steps in the Basecamp program, but this is a great thing to use for those new members or for yourself in case you can't remember what we talked about. We also have information here for Basecamp managers. Now, a Basecamp manager is the president, the secretary, and the VP of education. So keep in mind that if you're one of these 3 roles, you will have a different level of access to Basecamp than just a regular member or even another officer. And so we have resources here that will help those people managing the club, managing the members, and seeing what everyone's status is. We have information on this training, of course, along with some recorded sessions. I will be deleting some of these old ones, but for now, they're all up there in case you want to watch another one. And then we also have our help team. So here you can see my name and my email. You can see Lorraine, and you can see Karen. One thing I should also note is right up here in the Basecamp Manager section, we have a link to a video training for Basecamp managers only. So if you are a Basecamp manager, I strongly suggest downloading this PDF and following along with the video link. If you have additional questions after watching that video, you can reach out to any of us. Any questions on the Pathways support page?
I'm wondering, how long is the video training for the Basecamp manager?
This one was a longer, I mean, they're all an hour. Let me see, scrolling. Oh, hold on, my little.
47 minutes.
There, 47 minutes. Sorry, my little bar is right across that. So it's not too long, but you can follow along with that.
Okay. What is Basecamp again?
Basecamp is the actual program that Pathways uses. So we call the Toastmasters program or curriculum Pathways, but the online infrastructure is called Basecamp.
It's called what?
Basecamp.
Yes. So it sounds kind of odd, but whenever you're talking about the online interface, you're going to call it Basecamp. It's your base of operations whenever you're going through these curriculum. So with that, I will log into Toastmasters International and we will actually go there. So first step is, of course, go to toastmasters.org, click on Login. And then once it logs you in, you can go to Pathways. And my favorite method, you can go there several ways, but I just like to go to Basecamp. It's pretty simple, and it'll take me to where I was last looking on the program. So it opens up my education transcript. That is because I don't need to worry about how I log in. If you're a Basecamp manager, it'll give you the option of which way do you want to log in, or if you're a member of multiple clubs, it'll give you that option as well. For me, I'm no longer a Basecamp manager, so I just log in directly and it pops up right in my education transcript. But for the sake of this exercise, I will go to the home page. So this is what you should see when you log in. There are several things on here that I want to call your attention to. The first and foremost is how to navigate through this program. You must select a drop-down category when trying to go to tutorials, check compatibility, or home. If you select anything on this top maroon bar, nothing will happen because these are not links. These are basically images. You must click the drop down in order to go there. It's a very simple thing, but it is irritating if it's not what you're used to. So I just want to make sure to be very clear that you have to click that drop down. And the first thing you should do if you're logging into Pathways or Basecamp for the first time is to check compatibility with your system. If your computer is not up to date with JavaScripting or your pop-up blockers are enabled, you won't be able to access the information that you need. So you must make sure that you check that compatibility and then fix anything that needs to be fixed. You see everything is green except for this one pop-up blocker that's in yellow. If you see something and you're not sure how to fix it, you can actually click on it. And this, for instance, is telling me how to fix my pop-ups. I've actually gone in and allowed this particular page. That's why it's showing yellow, because I do have a pop-up blocker enabled, but I have it set as okay for this page. So it's telling me, hey, something seems wrong. You might have issues, but I know that I won't because I've used this before. So you may see that with your cookies, with your resolution, whatever it is. Some of these might be red or yellow, indicating a problem or a potential problem. Going back to home. These are our navigation tiles. Navigating Basecamp gives you instructions and tutorials on how to actually use this program. So if you get stuck, you can go here. You can actually also search for any help topics in the top search bar. So if you can't remember how to launch a project or complete a level, you can type that into the search and up will pop either informational PDFs or actual training videos. So it's very handy to use the search bar. We also have a tile here to take you to your education transcript, one to take you to your feedback, badges, and then speech evaluations. This is my first choice for going to my education transcript, but I can also click down here in the maroon box, and I can open my curriculum from this box as well. So I can sidestep some of those extra categories. But for the sake of this one, I will click right here on my education transcript on the blue tile, and up will pop my category. Normally I'll have just this one in here, but I actually manually added a few when I was playing with the tool. So those have been added here as well, but they're not part of my actual path. Your path is the same thing as your curriculum. It's like a college course that you've enrolled in. You can add a few extra just for fun, but you're not going to get credit for those. You need to get credit for what's in that actual project. So I would click on Open Curriculum, and I get to all my levels. Most of you will be at level 1, and you will not be seeing these little maroon check boxes. These checks are telling me that I've completed those, and you'll also see a percentage completion bar in each level, as well as one for the entire path. So you'll see I'm at 100% because I've completed level 1, and I have 3 checks here and 1 for my level completion request. Same with level 2, but level 3, you will note, I do not have that. There is no maroon checkbox, and it does not say complete, it says launch. It also shows I'm at 0%. That's because my first speech of level 3 is actually on Wednesday. So after Wednesday, I will actually have a credit here, and this little 40% will increase as well. One fun thing to note, when you get to these electives, you actually can click on the view details, and you'll get a whole list of all the different electives. And you don't have to worry if you select one to launch, that's the one you must do. You can select launch on all of them and read all those PDFs and play with the online program before you even decide which one you're going to pursue. I was worried that, oh, what if I click launch and I want to do another one? But it's totally fine. It only counts with what you finish. So you can start all of them, but when you finish one, then you'll get credit for it. And you can do 2 for this level, and then I'll have 1 for my level 4. Any questions on levels and launching a project?
Will that screen look the same if you haven't chosen a path yet?
You won't get here
Oh,
if
okay.
you haven't chosen a path. You have to first choose that path, so it'll look like this first. So you'll go in, and it'll tell you continue to path selection from Toastmasters International, so toastmasters.org, before you can even get to Basecamp.
Okay.
Once you click on that, then you can log in as a member with your club and get to the program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Do you just choose one from the electives?
For mine, so in level 3, I have 2 electives that I must take and 1 required course. And I can choose from any of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 electives.
So you just choose one, right?
I choose 2 for my level 3. But that's my level 3. Some of them might be different. So remember when we are going through this path? Oh, it looks like it's the same, actually.
It's the
This
same
level
for
3
everyone.
says choose 2.
Oh, okay.
This level 3 says choose 2. Yeah, so it looks like every level 3 has 2 electives.
So what's the difference between activate and launch?
So activate is to make it clickable, and launch is to actually open it as a PDF. So you can see some of these say launch and some say activate. That's because I was looking at doing this one. So for instance, if I want to inspire my audience, I'm going to click activate, and now it opens it, and then I click on launch. It's different with an elective than it is with a required course because it doesn't know which one you're going to pick. With required, it knows that you want to pick that, so it's already going to show that you've opened it in your status bar. And so, of course, it will open as a PDF. And actually, this is a great thing. When you're in your PDF, you can navigate through the online portal. Can you guys see it? Okay.
Yeah.
Do it a little bit, move it a little bit to your left on the screen because the pictures, thank you.
So you would just navigate through the program using the click buttons. You have to make sure that you do both a pre and post assessment. The pre-assessment is, of course, before you've done the project. So it's benchmarking you of where you feel before and where you feel after. So you can directly see what you've learned by doing this project. So when you're in that assess your skills before, you would click on these buttons and then click next. Don't click on these gray arrows because that'll jump you right out. So you have to actually use the small arrows or the small indications here, and then the big ones for the overall pages. So you can click through and you're going to see some information. If you hit on the drop down here, you can actually jump to particular pages in the online program. I like to start with the Your Evaluation tab because I can print my PDF this way. I'm a little old school. I like to print it off and highlight it. Yeah, the online one is great, especially when you're watching videos or you're doing these point and click, drag and drop, trying to sort things into which category. But after I've done the online program, when I'm actually writing the speech, I like to have a copy of that in my hands so that I can write all my thoughts out on paper. So this is a great thing for you to do. And it also has an easy link to your evaluation resource so that you can give that printout to your evaluator that day, or you can send them electronic version. Just depends on how you do it in your club. So I'm done with this one, so I'm going to click X, and it'll go back to the page that I was on.
Ava, was that for the evaluator or for you?
Your evaluator resource, so there were 2 lines. There was the print your project, and then there is your evaluation. That's your actual evaluation form that you give to your evaluator.
Okay.
Talking about evaluations, I would like to show you where those forms are located where everyone can access. But first, I want to make sure that no one has questions on this page.
Would you go to level 1 or 2 and show them what a certificate looks like
Sure.
of completion?
Ta-da! Level 1! So we've been printing these on pretty photo paper and giving them to our club members. But I also get a badge. So this is a badge, and I get that associated with my profile when you look me up in the Basecamp program. And I'll show you how to do that as well. Okay?
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Any questions on this before I show you where those evaluations are?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did I see correctly that in the evaluation area was the whole like project, like old school manual kind of project view of what you're working on? Is that right? They put that in the evaluation area?
So yeah, let me just launch the icebreaker for a minute and show you. I save them all as PDFs on my computer.
Okay.
So I can access those anytime from any device. So I can put them on my cell phone. I actually have them on my phone because that's how I was doing the project yesterday. And so right here, this is that section I was talking about, the Your Evaluation section. This one has a worksheet. It has the print your project, and it has your evaluation resource.
Oh, wow.
I click print my project, it's going to open the entire module as a PDF.
Oh, okay.
So this is what you're used to seeing in the old manuals.
Mm-hmm.
Now it will tell you if you're missing a video or an activity. So this one, for instance, is saying that online you have to go in and actually do this quiz.
Oh.
It's not something you can do on paper and get credit for. You need to go in. This one's also showing you that you can watch a video that's talking about an icebreaker.
Oh.
So you can give this to some of your members, but they're going to be missing out on some of the information that's online.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I do the online version first, and then I print this for my records for when I'm actually writing the speech, because sometimes I might launch it and not write the speech for another couple of days.
Okay.
So this is just a great one. And if you go down to the end, here's the evaluation form. This is what you give to your evaluator. And so this looks very similar to what you had before. Like, what did you do well? What do you want to work on? But the next page is part of our new program. It's basing your answers off numerical values. This way, you can directly compare yourself from one project to another, even when they're different topics. So you'll always have a clarity. You'll always have a vocal variety and eye contact. The thing that will be different is that last one, that interest. That depends on the project that you're in. Everything else is going to be the same. And there's actually a cheat sheet telling people what each number means.
Oh.
I strongly suggest doing an evaluation of yourself. So if you have a video, if you guys film your speeches, go back and watch it and use this level, because then it's the same evaluator each time. It's you, and you know how you've been doing. And you can actually see numerically where you start and where you end. And for a numbers person, that is so cool. You actually see that progress. Hey, I started at 1 for clarity, and now I'm at 5. Or, I mean, maybe not that big of a jump, but maybe you go from 2 to 4. Showing that increase is really helping you understand how you're learning in the program.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
If your evaluator gives you the form then you can put it into the program, correct?
Yep. So let me go over to those evaluations. And just in case you did not save the PDF or download it when you launched your program, so when it popped up in the pop-up box, if you didn't grab it and you didn't send it to your evaluator and they need to go pull it, they're not going to be able to log into your curriculum. But they don't need to. They can go straight to their homepage and click on the speech evaluation here. This has all of the evaluation resources for every single project in the program.
Okay.
And if this is too daunting to search through, you know what you can do? Go to the happy search bar up top and go, ooh, icebreaker. Bam. icebreaker outline worksheet. Let's see what else we want. And okay, that's a little too much. Maybe I'll do evaluation. And they popped up here, or I go click right there. And then you can open up the PDF directly here. So you just hit launch.
Okay.
And then someone was asking or mentioning about putting these online. So depending on how you do this in your club, you may give a paper copy to your evaluator, and then they may write down the notes on it and hand it back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could give it to them and they could actually take a photo and email it to you. Or they can actually type in the PDF while you're there in the room giving your speech. In my club, we don't allow computers to be on unless you're giving a speech with a presentation, because we're a club at Dell. We're already on our computers, and if you pop that thing open, you're going to get IM'd, you're going to get emailed, and you're not going to be paying attention. So we have a closed notebook policy, which means all of our evaluations are on paper. So I actually physically have my evaluations from my club members, and then I will take them back, and I can take a photo with my phone and upload it, or I can use a scanner. Now, you'll note I'm about to show you where you put them. I have not done this yet. I have them actually in a big folder, but I want to put them in. My only thing is we do tiny evaluation slips. So we have these ballots where they're perforated and you can write people notes. So I have a stack of those, and I want to scan them all on real paper and make them look pretty, and so I haven't done it yet. So mine aren't in here, but I'm going to show you where you upload them. So step 1, click on your photo, or if you haven't uploaded a photo, it's going to be a gray silhouette of a person, but I have a photo. So I'm going to click on my person, and here you see my profile, and right at the top it has a button said feedback. This one I can actually click. There's no drop down. So I can click on feedback, I can click on transcript, and I can click on ePortfolio. ePortfolio is where your documents will be housed. So I click. Here you can see it's got a category for my badges and my document. You see 0 because I haven't loaded them yet. I click in here, and there are already folders for each of my levels. I didn't even have to do that. Toastmasters did that for me. So I could go in here, go to level 1, and I can actually upload those documents. There is another way to do this. But first, any questions on this way? Okay. And so you can do that from your cell phone, from a computer, whatever you want to do, from a tablet. The other way to get an evaluation form from your evaluator, if you're doing it electronically, is by asking them for feedback or for them to give you feedback. The feedback button is a way for you to talk to your club members, to give them accolades, to tell them how much your speech meant to you, or to give them overall feedback on how well they did or what you think that they can improve on. You can also give badges. This is one of my absolute favorite things about the new program, is it's not just a best speaker or best evaluator or best table topics. You can give people badges that, in my opinion, mean more. Most inspirational, for instance. I mean, how cool is that? Someone thought you were an inspiration to them. You might not even have a speech that day. Maybe you stood up to be timer for the 10th time, and everyone's so proud of you for always taking that role and for standing up when someone needs to fill it. And so they thought, you're an inspiration to the club. Or maybe you're most creative. And so if you go in here, yes.
I have a couple questions. So the e-portfolio, you mean you can just scan everything for that speech, including the little slips, and put it up there?
Yep. I can scan anything I want and put it there.
And also for the feedback request, they can only do it on computers, right?
Well, you can do it from your cell phone. But yeah.
There's no app, right? There's no cell phone app to...
Not yet. I've heard rumors that there may be an app, but right now it's just online. So And that's the thing to note, that if you use your phone for any of these projects, you have to make sure that you put it in desktop mode as opposed to mobile. They don't have a mobile friendly version of the website. So if you're looking at those pop-ups, first off, you have to turn your phone this way. And then you have to make sure that it's on desktop mode, or else everything's going to be really big and you can't like scroll and see. So just a thing to note. But with this, you can go in and you can attach a document. You just make sure that it's in the desktop mode.
But the feedback request, would it send to everybody?
You pick. So what I'm right in here. So I'm saying, hey, I have my speech on Wednesday. Please provide some feedback. Love you. Okay, you probably wouldn't say love you, but okay. So now I'm going to go who I want feedback from. Now the only people I can see or even select are going to be people from my club. There is a privacy setting in Basecamp so that you can only see information from people who are actually associated in your club. So if you ever give someone feedback and you select who you want to see it and you click everyone, it's not everyone. It's only people in your club. And when it says managers, it means your Basecamp manager, not your work manager. So it's your president, your secretary, and your VPE.
And when you say everyone, including those people who haven't yet enrolled in Pathways?
Once they enroll, they'll be able to see that information on your profile.
Okay.
But it's not like they'll get an email or anything.
And Ava, what happens when you're in more than one club?
It'll see whichever one is your home club. So you need
the
to
one that you're logged into at the time.
Sorry?
The one that you're logged into at the time, right?
Yeah. So you can't see both unless that's the one that you select as your home club when you log in. So here I'm going to go to Louisa. And I'm going to say, Louisa, give me your feedback. I love you. Click. And then she can, I'll say, who do I want to see it? Well, manager or everyone? You know, I want everyone to see it. And then I would click post. And then she'll give me feedback. Now, note that there's a little icon here. I can actually attach that form here for her to fill out if that's what I want. Now, this is requesting feedback. What if, and I'm going to click cancel because I don't want to post that. What if I want to give her feedback? Which reminds me, she still has my evaluation form. So I really should do this because she didn't give me my last one. But I would go in here and I would type in her name. And you see, I don't even have to get very far because we don't have many club members with an LU first name. So up she pops. I click on her name. I go to feedback at the top. And then I can give her feedback. And I want to tell her how awesome she is. And then I want to attach a badge. So this little icon here is a badge icon. You click there and you can tell her that she's been courageous or exceptional. And it'll tell you a 2 to 3 word description of what those mean, but it gives you a hint just in case you don't know what to select. And so you can select that, or if you don't want to give a badge, let's see if I can get out of it without selecting it. No, okay, I hit cancel. So if I don't want to give her a badge, but I can give her her feedback form. So right here, I can click on this and I can attach that form. So this is a way to give it to someone electronically without having to email it or give it to them in a paper copy.
Yeah, that's not the same as an evaluation form, correct?
I can attach an evaluation form to this, yes. They will still have to take that file and move it to that particular folder if that's where they want to keep it. But I can send someone the evaluation form. You can send them anything. So I can go in here and, okay, that's my work expense report, but I can send her my receipt from the Holiday Inn in Raleigh, North Carolina if I really wanted to. I mean, I wouldn't suggest it. And then just, I'm going to hit cancel because I don't want to send her feedback that says hi. I could, but it's not really my place. And then you can go to the ePortfolio as well. So you can see this is her portfolio. So she can choose to load them here for everyone to see or not, but I can see her badges. You'll see that she's in innovative planning, but it's grayed out. That's because she has not reached level 5 yet, but she has reached level 1 and she has reached level 2. And so everyone can see those badges, that they are public. Special badges are only public if you choose to make them so when you're awarding them. Okay. Questions on evaluations, feedback, or your education transcript? Okay. I want to show you another way to get to your education transcript. For me, when I think of the word transcript, I think of something that's more textual, that has a bunch of words and credit numbers, like a college transcript. If you are curious to see something like that, click on the education transcript blue tile, just like normal, but instead of hitting open curriculum, hit on the words. This will show you exactly where you stand. So we were talking about those electives for mine and which ones I'd opened or not opened. Here you can actually see which one's in progress, what's not activated. So my VPE can come in and see this for me and understand exactly where I am in the program. Now, there is no report to get this for every single person in one massive file. There are other resources that you have being a Basecamp manager, but sometimes if you need to see exactly where one person is, it's best to just type in their name in the search and open this version. That way you can see, where am I? What's active? What's not active? Have I even started my level 3? She can check up on me. So if I scroll down, you're going to see that the rest of these say pending prior training. That's because I have not completed level 3, so I can't jump to level 4. So again, I just went to the blue tile and clicked on the word as opposed to open curriculum. I have 6 minutes left. What other questions do you have? Michelle, do you have any other questions?
Where can you get a description of the roles?
Perfect. So you can get a description of the roles in the Navigator. So we have a version here on our Pathways page. You can go up to the Getting Started in Pathways and click on either of the 2 versions of the Navigator. I prefer the PDF. And then you can scroll through. Now this Navigator does have information on Toastmasters in general, the roles, officer roles, everything that you need to know. So it's like meeting roles is on page 6. So I'll just scroll down to page 6 and here you go. Other questions? Michelle, are you good? Do you have any other questions?
Oh man, I'm just wild with all the resources that are out there. That's great. Thank you, Ava. Yeah.
They really, I mean, even though it's a new tool, they are doing their best to make sure that we understand. For instance, if I click on that Navigating Basecamp, you see all of these how to do things. How to explore my profile, how to do a project, how to complete a level. And like
how many pathways should we start with? Is there any limit as to how many do you do together simultaneously?
So for your path, you can do, you buy one at first. You can do multiple paths at the same time, but I would recommend, if you're going to do multiple, that you have different, that you're a member of different clubs, just to keep track. But I don't think there's a limit on how many you can open. You just have to pay $20 for each path. So when you join, you pay that $20 first as part of your new member fee. And then if you want to do other paths, you just pay additional $20 each time. So in theory, you could technically do all 11, but that seems like a lot. But you could if you really wanted to.
Do I still have to pay if I'm currently trying to finish CC manual?
Yes. So
Okay.
whenever you start, so because you're a new member, you'll get your first one free because you already paid that new member due as your current member before the change happened. So you technically already have one, but if you do additional paths, not just that first one, you will have to pay.
Oh, you mean even if I have a CC manual, I can still have a one pathway free?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you were already, as long as you were already a member before February of last year, which it sounds like you were. So one thing I want to show you on here is just when I type in the word level, you see all these? These are all trainings. So this one is an indication of a video training. This one's just going to be a document.
Did you mean that the February this year?
No, February of last year is when this launched. So if you remember before February of 2018, then you already have your first pass. You just have to log in to access it and select one.
But if it's not?
If you were not, then we might have to check on it, but you should get your first path free because you paid that new member due.
Right. That's the way it goes.
Joined after February 2018, you should already be in Pathways not using the CC manual.
At the time, they recommended me to use CC. I don't know why. I think I joined about in March last year.
Well, that one I can't help with. But that's okay. You should still get your first path free. When you log in, you should see if it should just tell you that you can log in. If it asks you for a credit card number, then you will have to pay. But you should get your first one free because you signed up for a new member.
Okay.
Yeah, I think your club probably gave you a CC book and did not register you with the program online. So we might have to look into that. Let me know if you have any troubles. Okay, I've got 2 minutes left here. So real quick, again, when you type in the top bar, you can search for any help materials that you want. So I just typed in the word level, and you can do that from the normal page, from the home page, wherever you are. Same with when you look up your club. If you ever want to look up members of your club but you can't remember their name, you can actually type in your club name, and up will pop every single person in your club. And I strongly suggest putting pictures in here, just in case, like especially for the officers, so that other people in the club can find you and know who you are. Any last questions? Mary, Jeannie?
Okay. Thank you. This has been great.
Julia, Gloria.
I don't know enough yet to ask questions.
Mary, you have questions?
I said I don't know enough yet to ask questions.
Well, hopefully after you have a chance to play in the tool, then if you have any questions, you know where to find us. So just one more time, in case anyone came in late, the best way, resource we have is www.tmd55.org/pathways. And if you scroll down there, you will find all of our names and our emails. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And I thank you for your time. If anyone has any other questions, you can stay after, but for sake of respectful of other people's time, I will be officially ending the call right now, and I'll stay on for the next 5 minutes for any further questions. Thank you guys very much. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.